Hello, welcome back. Take your seats, get comfortable, because for the next 20 minutes or so, we are going to be giving you a sneak peek into the world of acting and theatre. And but in case you think it might be too early for you to rouse the performer within, well, worry not, because you can attend an exclusive high-intensity theatre workshop here in Lahore with the likes of Umair Rana. And also joining Umair Rana, who's here with me today, is Najeen Iftikhar, who is an interior designer and also a set designer who will be assisting in this whole project. Please welcome Umair Rana and Najeen Iftikhar. Hello, good morning.
Hi.
How are you? What were you guys laughing about?
Oh, no, nothing much. How the set is going to look like. That's what we were thinking about.
Okay, all right. Umair, I'll start with you.
Yes.
You have really achieved a big name. I was just going through 44 theatre projects. You have been the director, producer. Theatre, how do you forget, the presence of hundreds of people in front of you and you actually perform?
Oh, it's easy. You just think that you're more superior than them. They don't matter.
Oh,
just kidding. All right.
That's easy. Not bad at all.
I know, but no, I think it's essentially when you get yourself into a role and you realize what your purpose is, and you have to go out and tell a story. For example, you're sitting over here and you have to let your audience know what's happening in Pakistan, in the world, and you sort of get lost in that. You forget about a camera lens which is staring at you. So there's no camera fright for you.
But Matt, I have thought about that, since I am in front of the cameras and all, why not act? But acting is role play. You are actually somebody else. Right now it's very easy for me to be me.
True, but we are always in role play, aren't we not? I mean, that's whole cliched line which has been said to the ground, the world's a stage and we're all actors. But it is the truth. At every given time we're playing a different role. I mean, like, right now I'm being interviewed by you. The other day I'm going to be, in the morning I was a father, and later on I'm going to be a teacher. And there's certain things you don't do in a particular different role instead, even as a person yourself. So why not, becoming more fun and energetic, become totally someone else and have a 3D experience on stage with working with people.
Okay.
So
that sounds easier than I'm sure it is. Because how do you forget who you are and actually...
I'll give you the simplest example. I think at times we become a little more scared about it than we actually are. And we are scared on two levels. One, we have the fear of rejection. We feel as if we're going to be judged. In a society like ours, it is so easy to be judged.
True.
Secondly, we also forget that sometimes it's very simple, because we all have a child in us. It's how much we let it live or quash it makes a difference. If I ask you to imitate your old teacher or principal that you used to be, you could be able to do so. Everyone is able to at least try. That's all that matters. You don't have to be, Oscar winner imitators of your principal, but at least you can try. So to be able to mold a little bit, a tad bit even, it goes a long way. So we're just saying, all right, we just take that as a nudge of the thread and just pull it on it and tug on it and take it on.
Okay, now this is interesting, and I'm sure most of the people, if they had to imitate somebody like a principal or a teacher or somebody nasty, they would do a good job of it. But actually imitating in front of others, I'm talking about the confidence and the fact that you lose track of who you are, everything, and come into a role which is somebody else's. Now, if you were, and you are going to be doing that, a workshop, theatre workshop, what's the first thing that you would, maybe teach the students? What's the one thing?
Put the barriers down. We really need to learn how to relax and get our barriers down. Primarily, we play a lot of games. We call them gamer exercises, because they're exercises in forms of games.
Okay.
And we are trying to revive the child. It's how people have grown up and said, you're a girl, you should sit in a particular way. You're a boy, you don't cry. So we've been conformed in infinite ways to do's and don'ts. And we want to smudge that, because when we were children, we sat the way we wanted to sit, we cried the way we wanted to cry. And the funny thing is, we still do. But we don't want to do it or be caught doing it. Because again, the fear of rejection, we don't want to get judged by people. And that's why in a society like ours, they say that the old cliche, artist log hai. The artist log hai. They are non-conformists, so they are rebellious. But it's true, because we essentially reflect on who we are. That's what our job is. So if Najeen over here is going to paint something or create something, she's making an expression, a statement that this is who we are, this is what I think. It's an opinion. Unless, of course, you use the same skill and talent to just make money. There are infinite ways to do that, and we know that. History's shown it.
How interesting. So is it going to be, and Najeen, you're also here, and both of the, by the way, this workshop that we are talking about, this will be through the Knowledge Factory.
That's right.
Of course, theatre workshop. And you also teach, you are going to be taking art classes over there?
I'll be running the summer art program at TKF, and it's very lively, enthusiastic, welcome to all levels, and it's going to be quite brilliant.
Okay, interesting. And what is your collaboration with the theatre side of it? Do you design the sets and
Well,
all?
you see, the set is designed according to the actors and
The story.
entire storyline. So it's all done according to that, and the design, lighting, it all comes together, and it's all visual arts, you see, and performing arts.
Interesting, interesting. Umair, do you think somebody who has a passion to act theatre, they could actually learn it, they could refine themselves in a matter of maybe a summer?
Absolutely. I think even if you don't have a passion for theatre, because the module that actually is being proposed, I mean, I got specifically into teaching drama as a profession, also because it has taught me so many things. And now that I do, we've introduced O-level drama in Pakistan, for example. This summer was the first time that there's a batch that has taken their exam in Pakistan. And the primary selling point is that it teaches you 8 skills of life. And these are life skills. They're not necessarily theatre, acting, drama skills.
8 skills?
8 life skills, which no academic subject does. And these are all important things, even if you become a banker, an engineer, a doctor, whoever you want to become, the cliched jobs and typical jobs also. Go ahead, do so. But you'll be 1 in a million engineer. But how will you stand out? Is when you have those particular life skills which set you apart. You know, inquiry, problem solving, decision making, creative thinking, working with others, communication, improving your learning, you know, evaluation, all these skills. And these come through skills and teachings like drama and theatre. Now, the other aspect of it is, if you look at it in a pure human biology of it, you've got one particular side of your brain being developed by all the sciences that is really being pressed on us in society. But the arts, like Naji and myself would be teaching, and she'd be teaching, you know, the arts forms of a different kind. But they still develop a particular side of the brain which makes you think in a different way. And just make you realize, all right, there's another way I can go around and look at this table. Or I can go down and look at this table, or go up and look at this table. Gives you different points of view.
But these points and these, skills that you're talking about, again, life skills, you don't really have to end up being an actor.
Of course not.
You can actually benefit from them in any profession,
any walk of
anywhere.
life.
Yeah,
and it's not necessarily a profession. It's just general life. You know, you're living your life and you have a skill. Why not?
Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to ask, you know, we are talking about, you know, the arts and theatre and everything. Now, there is this movie which is really making waves, Bowl. I don't know if you have watched it. I really want your opinion on it, because you know, there are no movies in Pakistan, at least that we could actually talk about. This one has been the rage. Everybody is talking about it. It just came out, released over the weekend. Your take?
Well, we were just sort of discussing some things as well. I mean, I, for example, have a salt and pepper hair naturally, and Naji's like, oh, didn't you have salt and pepper hair? I was like, yeah, I do naturally. But I've dyed my hair also because there's another film that I'm working in. That's another story we can develop on sometime. But we're doing another film, and it's called Tamanna. And this industry is picking up. Like my friend Zain Ahmed says, sitting in Karachi, he says, you know, the best thing about Pakistan is that there's always a demand for something and there's no one to supply. And we can always try to meet that gap. It's pretty interesting for a person.
By the way, that Tamanna has been in the making for a while, because I think we had somebody last year.
Yeah, that's when it was initiated. The project was initiated. And now we started shooting actually. And the project is really picking up now. And again, because you see films like Bowl and people like Shoaib Mansoor and the lot, you see, one very important tool is that if you have the financial aspect of it, it sort of becomes more sustained in industry. And of course, if you pass the skill, if a sustained supply of trained skill. So if you got those two things happening, it's going to work. So people like Shoaib Saab and many more, if they pass on their skill and the trait and the talent, then definitely we'll have something going.
And do you think that's going to happen?
Well, I'm always an optimist, really. I always see the glass half full. So if it doesn't happen or not, it doesn't matter. It's the process that matters more.
Okay, cool.
And they can be private films as well.
There are, and there are a lot of talented
private
people
funding and everything. We should promote it.
Absolutely, but
then
that is also a problem. That is why probably the standards of
everyone
our movies,
would probably come up,
it's not progressing because funding is an issue again.
True. That's true.
And I think that is, we have a lot of good stories that we could talk about. We could also get the right people to make the movies and all. Money is an issue, I think.
Show me the money.
Sponsorship. Again,
well,
do you feel that, by the way, in your professions as well, and I probably will ask you too, that how much, you know, a sponsor is required for you to
It would be brilliant if you get a sponsor, you see, because there are lots of kids who can't take art because they can't afford the materials. So it's a part of social work, and then there's a lot you give back to society and
personally I'm sick of that word sponsor. I'm really sorry. I hate that word now. It's like someone's giving you aid. It's like the Americans coming down to Pakistan and giving you aid.
But okay, for lack of a better word, but the idea is the same. Somebody who kind of funds the project.
If they realize the kind of social responsibility they have, and okay, fine, if they don't have social hearts, you know, although I personally believe they do, but if they realize they have investment benefit, if they have a return on investment, you know, if a lady is going to be able to paint something and attract a lot of people and be able to do your selling of your product and brand for you, it's not sponsorship then. You're actually investing in an advertising platform. You know, the ads that you'll get on your channel.
Okay, then we can
look at it that
sponsors, investors.
Yeah,
we can call them investors. Although I don't know, investors sounds very, you know, like a bank-like or very.
We need the investor for the movie.
Yeah,
for paints,
we can call them
my manage.
Somebody, you know, my bab, somebody who are there, and then your project can go ahead. Umair, a couple of, you know, from the top of your head, some points that you would teach to your students, young people who would come to a theatre workshop. You know, what can they look forward to?
A lot of fun. Okay. A lot of fun. It is literally liberating yourself. I always have found students, I'm sure Najin will second me on this one, the ones who are really naughty.
It's about letting go, actually.
Yeah, those
the
are
ones
the best
who are really naughty are the ones who also pick up the most.
They are really good because they have energy, and all you need to do is be able to channelize the energy. And you'll find a lot of people, by the way, surprising as well. And I've seen some art students also doing that. They find a particular medium like theatre, art, music, or whatever to be able to express themselves. We're absolute introverts. They write beautiful poetry and whatnot.
This workshop would actually help them.
I'm certain. I'm absolutely certain. In fact, I look forward to those particular kinds.
Yes, but now tell me, if there is a person who says, okay, I know how to act and I've acted in a couple of plays and, you know, theatre or TV, whatever. Now, what more can Umair Rana teach me? So how would, I mean, is it like the vocal, you know, training that
in the modules of it specific? Well, the ground of it is an old trainer who said, which I really loved, the illiterate of the 21st century is one who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn.
Yeah.
So even
this was
I
one
myself,
of our quotations the other day.
I love that. And even myself, I mean, if I say I know everything, you know, of course not. I still learn from my students, by the way. But particular modules that they will learn, obviously, is to be able to learn how to deal with text, which is really scripts and whatnot. How to work with characters, how to work with voice, how to work with movement, how to generate ideas, how to be able to take it, as I say, from page to stage. So be able to do that. And this is the first level we're doing. We're going to have a second level of it as well. So if anyone who wants to go for a little more intensive module, of course, they're most welcome to go on. We'll go deeper into characterization, Stanislavski method, if anyone knows what it is, and go on to
but that method, that name that you took, that is something that you would be teaching there as well.
Yeah, I would be.
Now, both of you are in a profession where a lot of your work, I mean, you do your work and everything, but a lot is dependent on how people take it and how people perceive it. So you are kind of judged, you know, all the time. Why would you, and I'll ask you, Najin, why would you want to be in a position where you are there to be judged by people?
Why not?
Okay, but that is a big challenge.
I've always been a people's person and I love working with kids, and by kids I mean 18-year-old adults actually.
Okay.
And we're welcoming all levels at the TKF. And I actually feel it's very important to just do something that can bring your inner personality out, and I feel art can really do that.
Okay, that's interesting. For you it might be different because you get like an active response right away. You're on stage, you're performing, you have an audience, and
there are lots of methods actually, and you can make a person comfortable and then they can go about their business.
True, absolutely true.
What about response? How much do you, you know, people feed off response?
Absolutely.
You like the clapping, you like the praise, you perform even better. How does that work out?
I think again, in a slight philosophical sense of it, I look at everything in forms of energy. and it's energy that bounces off. You know, when they say that this person came and has stage presence, how do you define stage presence? For me, it is the energy they have and how it emits and how it sort of sucks you in. It's like charisma. You know, if you try to define charisma, it's not good looks. I mean, God knows Gandhi Sahib wasn't that good looking, all right? Or Churchill, for God's sake. But charismatic, right? So was Jinnah Sahib. Absolutely charismatic. So I think it's a lot of energy that comes out on people. But nonetheless, more in the practical sense of, you know, what Najin and you were talking about, is Lahore has been known as the cultural city. I put it inverted commas because really I debate on that.
Okay.
I really do. I think it's becoming more of an agricultural city or horticultural city, but culture is moving away. It's time for people to put money where their mouth is. And you know, all the time we used to hear, oh, if only we were students and we had these courses, oh, if I had not become banker or whatever and done this. Well, here's an opportunity. You can, I mean, I'd love to get into the art class, and I wanted to become an artist, really. I'm probably rolling into Najeen's class.
But I don't think anybody can complain anymore, because Lahore, that cultural city and everything.
Oh, you give them reasons for complaint. You don't need to give them reasons for complaint. They'll still complain.
But that is also our national pastime, to complain
apathy,
and everything.
Total apathy.
But get up and do something.
But there are a lot of, and you probably would agree, both of you, that over the past couple of years, there are a lot of, encouragement in the arts. There are opportunities, courses, degrees even. You can do a lot more than probably 10 years back.
Absolutely.
The initiative needs to come from within, actually.
I second that. Okay. Now you take the initiative and see what happens.
But you both having been on the scene for past many years. Now, do you see a difference? And Umair, I'll ask you, do you see a difference from maybe 6, 7, 8 years back?
There is definitely a difference, but it still is pretty slow, if you ask me. There's still a difference. The difference really is that there are more opportunities, as you said.
Okay.
And people are getting more. For example, the schools are teaching art and now drama. You know, and I know Karachi has a school which is teaching O-level music. You know, and this is coming up in academics.
True.
But that's the downside as well. You see, they're looking at more in a sense, my child must get an A star in art or A star in drama. I hate that. Or you know what job you'll get out of that.
Let's not talk about the grading A, B, C, like in the part of learning. At least they have a music teacher, and at least they have a course.
They have an opportunity.
They have an opportunity.
There are more things offered now.
So that should...
Hopefully something should rub off. Something, you know, even if it's my white hair.
Okay, so if you could change something, if you could bring upon a change of something which is needed urgently, what would it be?
In terms of
the art scene, in terms of people accepting it.
Accepting it?
Accepting it, promoting it, taking it in stride.
Well, I don't know, if I had the magic wand to be able to influence and change people, it would really be turn them back into the mindset of what we used to be. Learning was for the sake of enlightenment and learning and enjoyment, excitement of it, not vocation, not job. And art, why it was a prominent, and still is innately in our blood. We still have music in our films, for crying out loud. We still have those horrible dances, but dances nonetheless. We need it. So it is still genetically in us. How we need to sort of go back at that and aesthetically appreciate it requires the tolerance. And of course, I would also want to, if I could, make them realize that when I say drama, I'm not talking about that particular cable channel that you quickly move when your children are sitting with you. Drama is your art of looking at yourself. It is the purest form of jihad, as I call it. And it's the only thing that we as human beings have been gifted. No animal can do it. So art and drama in these particular forms, expressions, is something that we need to appreciate and even tie it with whatever you believe in, but tie it with humanity.
I can sense that you, Umair, and you, Najeen, you both are very passionate about what you do.
Are we really? Okay, perhaps.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely, you guys are. But I'm going to put you on the spot, Umair, now, and I'm going to do that because I really wanted to. I want to know when people go on stage and they have this role and they are performing, and suddenly there is a stage laugh or people start crying actually with tears. How do you do it on cue? I want to give you that cue, and I want you to just
really
give us that
an emotion.
koi wo hasi ya khushi.
You don't think about it. For example, we're talking right now. We have natural hand movements.
Can you cry?
Of course I can cry. Everyone can cry.
With
right?
tears?
Can you cry right now?
No, as in on cue, because...
Yeah, it's easy to do so because if you're really sincere with your emotions, of course it comes out. I mean, can't we recall of any particular moment which really, really broke our heart? And we think about it good and sincerely enough, and purely in our shell, we'd cry right now.
but not like in front of 500 people and I'm thinking कि अच्छा वो क्या हुआ था उस दिन और अब मुझे रोना है. You know?
We still can. Trust me, we can. Particularly if you're playing a role in a situation, the moment will define it for you and how sincerely you are. I still remember doing Mamma Mia, and Kiran Chaudhary was singing with, and it's just the two of us. Whole song with me just standing and she was moving around and singing, and it was so heart-wrenching. I had to control my tears. And there's one particular night I remember walking up to her and saying, "You started too early," and I was. It happens because you're just in that moment. You know?
Okay, this is interesting. Then I will encourage everybody who wants to, you know, become an actor in theatre to actually do join this workshop, because these are the things that you really need to learn.
Yeah.
You know, how to emote that way. So 10 hours of this exclusive theatre workshop. When does it start?
Starting in July, actually the first week of July, I forget the date, but it's starting in the beginning of July.
Okay, and so we can put it up on our Facebook page and then people can contact you guys. And this would be at the Knowledge...
The Knowledge Factory.
Knowledge
TKF.
After this is the art workshop.
Art
That's
workshop.
also in July.
Okay, we are going to put it up and I think people can pick and choose, because a lot of things are happening.
There are lots happening actually.
Yeah. Umair Rana, thank you. Najeen Iftikhar, thank you very much for coming here. And yeah, we are going to take a very short break. Too many instructions in my head.